Welcome back, YouTube. We have coasted through the AFC South. We have ran through the AFC North. So now we're going to move on to the third of four divisions in the AFC, which will be the AFC East. That features the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, New York Jets, and the New England Patriots. So, unlike the last two divisions, we're going to start with the top and then work our way down to the bottom. So, in the first video of the AFC East, we're going to talk about the division champion, the five-time division champion Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, the only looming question is, can they finally win the Super Bowl? They have had horrible success in the postseason in this decade. They've had horrible playoff success in the 90s when they won a four consecutive Super Bowl run there. We just need Buffalo to win the Super Bowl once and for all. And is this the year that they're finally going to get the job done? So let's go ahead and talk about the Buffalo Bills. So Buffalo is in the ninth year with Sean McDermott. He has completely resurrected that franchise from being what it was before he came, which was a ultimate loser and not really a contender, to being a dominant force, winning the division handily each of the last three seasons, and just looking that's like the best legitimate shot to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs, and time again, they've just not risen to that challenge. So we look at their projected key starters for this season. Of course, the featured person on that offensive side has got to be Josh Allen, the All-Pro quarterback. He had 28 touchdowns through the air, um, and he also had two touchdowns on the ground. So this guy, he's turned into a quite a dominant force, but he's 6'5", I believe 240. So this guy is a beast. Now, the rest of the skill positions are not what we are necessarily used to. Last year, it was like the great overhaul with the wide receivers when you lost Stephon Diggs and you lost Gabe Davis. You guys shipped them off to places that we pretty much never heard from them again. At least Stephon Diggs went out with a torn ACL, and then Gabe Davis just got cut by Jacksonville. So you've got James Cook there at running back. You've got Shakir. You've got Keon Coleman. You've got Elijah Moore. You've got Josh Palmer there. Curtis Samuel. Not big time guys that you hear about on a regular basis, like Ja'Marr Chase and Devontae Adams and those big name wide receivers, but solid wide receivers that get the job done in at least in the regular season. The postseason, questionable at times. Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid will be the two tight ends there. And then by far their most prestigious, I must say, offensive lineman will be Dion Dawkins. He will be hammering down that left tackle slot once again. But that defense, just like they have in Baltimore, just like they have in Pittsburgh, it can be scary at times. Led by Matt Milano there at the linebacker slot guy. He is a beast. You don't want to deal with him. No, you don't. You got Christian Benford there at the left corner position. You've got Greg Rousseau at the defensive end. You got Ed Oliver. You just signed Joey Bosa from the Los Angeles Chargers, and you got AJ Epinesa in there. I mean, you've got the parts. Now I did throw in Damar Hamlin there because, well, we all know what Damar Hamlin did 3 years ago, and suffering that cardiac arrest. But he has resurrected quite nicely. He did have 2 interceptions and 5 pass deflections a year ago, but who knows what the team is going to bring to the table this year. All time, they are on paper, a losing team. They are 486, 505, and 8. That is a 49% win percentage. Within the division, they have a great record against the New York Jets. They are around 500 with Miami. If they sweep Miami this year, they'll lock that up at 500. But they have a god awful record against the New England Patriots, courtesy of Tom Brady. But let's go ahead and take a look at that schedule because that schedule, whoosh, they have got some doozies on that schedule. I wouldn't say those doozies come well at the beginning half or really in the middle. They do. At least when I listened to Get Up on ESPN the day after they talked about the schedule, they thought this schedule panned out perfectly for Buffalo because they only have to travel outside the Eastern time zone one time, and that's when they go to Houston. That'll be a Thursday night game on Amazon Prime. But I wouldn't say this is like, oh yeah, they're going to go 17-0 and they're going to be no, they're not going to go 17-0. This is the NFL. We can't really do that. So the future games on the schedule, they host Baltimore week 1 on Sunday Night Football. They host Kansas City week 9. That'll be the national doubleheader game on CBS. They do host Cincinnati. They do go to Pittsburgh. They do host Tampa Bay. They go to Houston. So, I mean, they play a lot of the playoff teams from a season ago. And, of course, the big one being week 17, they host the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. That'll be a 425 keg exclusively on Fox. So, they've got a bunch of games on the schedule. And, of course, the division games are just as important. A year ago, they went 13-4, lost to Kansas City in the AFC Championship game once again. Over-under this season is 11.5. They are one of the top ones in the NFL. I do have them going 12-5, and I do see them having that deflating moment in the postseason when they lose in the divisional round. I believe that would be to the either Cincinnati or Baltimore is one of those two I have in there. But I do have them losing in the divisional round at home, which would be devastating for this franchise once again. Their 5 losses. I have them losing week 1. I have them losing at Atlanta on Monday Night Football. I have them losing back-to-back games against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and then they'll rest for stars in week 18. So they'll just essentially forfeit that game against the Jets at home. So yeah, once again, Buffalo 12-5, losing in the divisional round. So the next team that we're going to discuss in this preview is going to be the second place team from a year ago, and that will be the Miami Dolphins, who have got so many issues and so many things that we need to talk about with them. So until then, this is your man Dylan signing off with the Buffalo Bills. I look forward to seeing you in the next video talking about the Miami Dolphins. Have a great day.